Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 18th, 9 a.m., and we are here for consent agenda review and work session. Do we have any immediate items? We do?
I do have one.
What do you have?
I forwarded the three of you an email this morning from Jim Anderson Cook regarding the Moses Lake Distillery liquor license application. This is the one that last week the board approved, but then at the end of the meeting, there was discussion about where the location was. So the request was for staff to forward it to the development services for their opinion. And that is what I forwarded to you. So as of right now, the board's made the decision to approve it in an open meeting last week, but you had wanted it to be reviewed. And
Jim Anderson Cook is online.
oh, good.
You could promote him to a panelist.
Yeah, you can promote him. Might be faster than completing the email.
It doesn't look like it's allowed in that zone, and it's not set up for a distillery.
I'm sorry, I had to step away. Was there a question for me?
No, we just were kind of going back to that liquor distillery in the storage. So this got brought up because of, well, when we visited there and discussed it, and then we had the application come across for approval for storage. And then I wondered, how much liability are we under now that we know what it's being used for and where it's at?
Yeah. That's the issue out there. And like I said in my email, Mr. Phillips is definitely aware of his responsibility. We permitted it, like I said in the email, we permitted it as an S1 storage operation with the understanding that he would, as customers approached him with proposed storage uses, if those uses were going to trigger fire separations like this one does, that he would come to development services and make application to us. Well, inquire as to what upgrades needed to occur for him to accept that particular customer, and we would try to work through that with him. And he has never done that. This particular case, as you would expect, is either it's probably not an H1 use. It's probably more of an F1 because of its smaller scale. But nonetheless is going to require a sprinkler system. And, they likely knew that and didn't want to approach us knowing that they probably couldn't comply. So what responsibility do we have now that we know? We probably have some enforcement responsibility. They shouldn't be there. If the place blows up, it's flammable. If it blows up, he didn't really disclose where he was at. He led us to the end of the facility. So I'm assuming it's the last bay on that outside run is where the distilling is happening. And then it would appear that the storage is happening on the inside where he was parked. Both of them highly flammable. So, two separate issues here. This is liquor and cannabis board. And as we know, we can, claim to, deny the use all we want to, and they likely are going to approve it because there's no criminal activity out there. And
it should be fine.
What's that?
I'm just, building owner, business person, do whatever you want to do. But at the same time, it does blow up, kill someone, county's fault because they knew. That's what I would like to avoid.
Right.
So if there's like issuing a citation or a stop, at least something that shows that, hey, we did find out about this, we're acknowledging it. And if they continue to do what they do, that's up to them, but
Yeah, I mean, and this goes, leads again, not to beat a dead horse, but it leads again into the annual fire marshal inspections that, that program that we'd like to stand up, where the fire marshal is visiting these commercial operations and knocking on the door and doing these inspections and catching these type of uses. So without that being codified, the fire marshal doesn't have any teeth to go out there. So at this point, it's with the sheriff's office. We would bring it to their attention. Last week we have reestablished our monthly code enforcement review meetings between development services and the code enforcement staff. So not that we have to wait until next month to have the discussion. We can, I can engage with the prosecuting attorney and with the sheriff's office staff, or we can take a friendlier route and just have a conversation with Brad and tell him that this isn't gonna work for us. However, the board would decide.
I don't see where we can sign off on it to allow it. If the state says it's okay, then at least we've done our part.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it.
So I think we reverse it and
Can we go ahead and reverse it at this time?
deny it, send it on, they can send it on to the state and let the state decide.
My thought is you would probably want to put it back on consent
Yeah.
for
that's
next
fine.
week and do it that, or you could do it as a walk-on today.
It's due on the 23rd, isn't it?
Yes, 23rd,
Well,
so
we
probably
should
walk on today to
Yeah,
rescind it.
walk on.
Okay. Okay, so you'll have one walk-on today, the only one that I know of. Okay,
I know, I haven't heard of any other walk-ons.
Is that all for you, ma'am?
the last, just a reminder that number 10 on your agenda was advertised, so that is going to be added to next week's agenda.
So the pen be held or removed and then.
Re-added to, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
You bet.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody.
AP batch. Fully creative. Invoices. Marketing retainer. Double the amount of the marketing.
FYI that at their last meeting, the tourism committee did vote by majority to recommend that the 2026 marketing manager contract go to legal for review. Rochelle has made some edits, and so
And she basically made edits, like she presented to us where she makes all the decisions. They don't make decisions with her, essentially.
Right.
Which
That is with
I didn't think
legal.
that we were in favor of. I didn't think that
Well,
tourism.
before it even goes
advisory was.
through legal, do we not want to approve it? If we-
I don't like that. I
they would
don't-
go to typically the contracts go to legal first, and then it goes to you guys for final action.
I hate to waste the time of legal if we're not gonna,
Yeah, if we're already not in agreement with it, why send it to them if we don't agree to it already? Because then we're just gonna make changes to it and send it back to legal.
It's odd to me that the tourism keeps approving things they tell us they don't like, though. You have any opinion on that since you sit in there?
You had one person that abstained from the vote. The overall conversation was that they wanted to start looking at her contract earlier in the year, so that way they could discuss the scope of work in more detail. They had a couple weeks prior to the meeting to look at that contract. I did not recall having a clear no from the commissioners to not I just went through the normal routes with her contract renewal where I sent it to her, she made her changes, and then I sent it to tourism, which that's just what we normally do. So what would the commissioners like me to contact legal and have them hold off on reviewing that contract?
We have a copy of it.
I can forward it to you, yes. It has not, I don't think it's gone to you guys yet, because again, normally it goes to legal first, and then after legal has their weigh in, then you guys would have final action.
But it sounds like what we've put in place last year, she is removing for 2026.
She did not, I don't think she removed anything. She added,
Or,
here, I just sent it to you, you'll get it in a second.
okay.
She added a section about, the independent contractor status and marketing authority and contractor independence, with which both of those sections include a portion about the county having final authority on purchases and contracts, the way that it was this year, like, you know, she can't sign contracts over $5,000 without approval from the commissioners. And when it comes to the marketing authority and contractor independence, it would hinge entirely on the rest of the contract, so. The biggest thing that she put in there that I noticed was that the policies and procedures of the Tourism Advisory Committee cannot override the terms of the contract.
I would say forward it to us.
You should be getting it any second.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
You,
Do you want me to ask legal to hold off?
how long it is before, we got a couple things to review.
Yeah.
I would say let's just wait a minute, get through these. We should have like 10 minutes left, and then maybe we'll just read through that quickly and discuss it. Because we do have evaluation probably at the end of this, so. SIP, Phase 1 Master Planning Continued Project. Okay. Interagency Agreement. CDBG Grant. Minutes. GMA Periodic Update Grant. Surplusing a Massey Ferguson retro tractor. And some milk parlor items. Special Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Leslie Nelamo. $380 an hour and $500 an hour. And then we're rescinding a PUD transaction, Barb.
What had happened is back in May, the Public Works and the PUD did a jurisdictional transfer. They found out that there were errors, and then 2 weeks later, they did a correction to that. And they didn't realize they had already done that, and they submitted a third one through. So you approved it,
Yeah,
and so I'm rescinding it.
We did that. Taking it back out, right?
Right.
Just remove it.
I feel like I just saw it.
Yeah.
Civil Air Patrol, thank you letter. Okay. Do you have any other items? Okay, well, we have 15 minutes left, so I would like
Just a minute, Rob, on
Yeah.
it's posted correctly online, right? Because on here, number 10, it's a letter of support for the civil.
Yeah, that's the one that you caught yesterday. I posted it wrong on the agenda, but it's correct on the website. So we're just gonna hold it a week so we can have it corrected.
So, I apologize. Were you guys wanting to come back on Friday for budget meetings?
I think that's the plan.
What times? You have a Place Your AI meeting, Kevin has a KV tour. Would you like to do like 11 to 1? I know you have your deposition starting at 1. We could do like 11 to,
Well, I feel like we need to wait and see where the numbers are because there's not a lot of value of us to come in here
True.
to
Waste of
Sure.
time it's been. That's-
basically to watch Mandy work and get things together. She's faster without us watching her up in her own office, so I think we need to just see where we're at.
would you like us to add 2026 budget review meetings on Monday and Tuesday afternoon of next week?
Yeah, I would go ahead and add them in just so we can, it's easier to cancel it than to add a meeting.
I
But
know-
yeah, we can, on Friday, I'm not sure because like yesterday, I don't know where we're at, where our numbers are, but we've got to have some stronger numbers so that we can make some decisions and we're not there yet.
And then I know that Kevin, you said you'd be out on Wednesday, the 26th, but the hearing room is pretty open that day too. Did you want any time put on the calendar for budget meetings that day? Just to have it on the.
I say let's wait and see how we're doing on the,
Which days?
Monday and Tuesday. of
Yes,
next
put
week,
them on
sorry.
Monday and Tuesday.
Yes,
If we're
and
gonna
then-
push them that far,
Wednesday, do you want anything on Wednesday?
just put like a potential time. I
It
would
would
put it in
be-
there.
Okay,
it would be the 8th is the day where we have to have our hearing.
for the
The
budget
first Monday or the
adoption,
first, is it
it would be the first
Monday?
Monday, so it'll be
Okay,
December
December
1st.
Yeah, I don't feel like have numbers that are solid enough to.
We can put stuff on the calendar
Okay.
for next week. Then you guys will not be coming back on Friday.
Yeah, we'll know here. We'll probably know here shortly.
That was the only other thing I had.
Okay, so I want to go into executive session for 7 minutes, starting at 9:18, coming out at 9:25, probably. For. Come on.
I'm assuming
Or-
it's always here?
No.
No?
Evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G.
Need sooner than later, but
Okay, it's 9:25, we are out of executive session. We'll take a quick recess from 9:25 to 9:30 when we're back at the sheriff's office. Good morning, it's 9:30 a.m. and we're here with the sheriff's office for an update with Sheriff Joe Crete.
Good morning. So I would like to go over some of our data that we got back from our first Gallup survey. As you know, the board approved us to go ahead and move forward with Gallup, and we got some great information from Gallup. We do have a specific I'm going to call it a follow-up meeting for lack of a better term, tomorrow morning with Gallup to go over our statistical information a little bit more in depth. So what I'll cover today is, if you have questions and I don't have the answer for you, if you ask tomorrow, I probably will. So I don't have a lot of the definitions, specifically more in-depth definitions for you from the survey, that I may know better tomorrow. So forgive me if I'm not able to answer your question today, but I should be able to after our first meeting tomorrow. We'll all have a little bit better understanding of what the statistical data will represent. So When we first took the survey, Gallup basically gave us kind of a heads up to say, don't be shocked if you're below 70% participation. Don't be shocked if your values are very low at first. It's very typical for the first survey that comes out that you have low participation and you have low value. The reason why is because it's new and people are hypercritical when the survey first comes out. So don't let that shock you. Don't freak out. Just know that that's very common. So our goal was to get at least 75% participation, which I thought was a great goal to have. And we nearly achieved that. We had 72% participation. So that was really good. We're extremely happy with that. The scales come back to basically a 1 out of 5 scale, 5 being the best, 1 being the worst. The engagement mean out of 94 respondents in total, and I think they call it the grand mean or the overall current mean, the company current mean, was 3.71, which was better than average, which was actually, we were all pretty happy with that, quite frankly. Our highest markings were in our questions were knowing what is expected. People rated that a 4.3. Opportunity to do their best, a 4.0. The 2 lowest ones we had were materials and equipment at 3.93 and recognition of 2.96. Which it goes a little bit more depth as far as the questions go. But I think our lowest participation, as I look here at the questions, the lowest participation we had of the 94 respondents, we had 1 question that only had 89 engagements, which was pretty good of the 94 we had engaged. So everybody answered nearly almost every question, which was great. And for our lowest mean of the 2.96, our overall engagement was 3.71, like I said, and they classified us in the engagement index. When you look at the scale, they use the color green. Okay, a lighter green would indicate a lower score. A very dark green indicates a higher score or higher success. So our engagement index, as they would call it, classifies us as actively engaged in a dark green color, which is great. That means our employees are engaged of what's going on. They see development and things like that. So that is actually very positive for the agency. So breaking down further into Gallup, they break down the pyramid of engagement into growth, teamwork, individual, or what do I give, or basic needs of what do I get. They break them into those classifications. So as far as the basic needs, the employees need to have a clear understanding of what excellence in their role looks like so they can be successful. Groups with high scores in the first element are more productive, cost-effective, creative, and adaptive. So for our basic needs, or the what I get, which is what I read, we came into a 4.1, which is very good out of 5. Our highest score of that was knowing what is expected. I know what's expected of me at work, which the current mean for that question was 4.32. The company's overall current mean was 4.33, very consistent and both very high markings, which were great. The lowest one with that was the materials and equipment. I have the materials and equipment I need to do my work right, which still scored very high at 3.93 for the current mean, and overall mean was 3.94. Both scored very well. For the individual, basically, what do I give? The employees want to know about their individual contributions and their worth to the organization. Manager support is especially important during this stage because managers typically define and reinforce value. So for the individual, we scored for what the employees give. We scored 3.67, which is still pretty high. Our best mean was their opportunity to do their best. At work, I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day. They scored a 4.01, which is fantastic. I found this one to be a little, I don't know if contradictory is the word I want to use, but this is one question I'm going to have for Gallup tomorrow. So for instance, our recognition piece, in the past 7 days, I've received recognition or praise for doing good work. The current mean for that was 2.96, which was our lowest mean in the survey. But just below that, where it talks about cares about me for question number 5, my supervisor or someone at work seems to care about me as a person. That was 4. Then for development, there's somebody at work who encourages my development, was 3.71. Both of those were very high, but the recognition piece was low.
Well, that's weekly though.
That's
When
weekly,
you think
exactly.
about it, that's-
So overall, I guess what I'm getting at, overall, our employees seem to be pretty pleased about being here and what's going on at the sheriff's office. However, weekly, they're not hearing that weekly attaboy, that praise. So even though the reflection isn't happening weekly, overall, they're feeling success within the agency, the
That's
organization.
tough, because that last 7 days, ask that question
Mhm.
is so subjective, because they asked that question during the employee barbecue, and everybody's out there eating hot dogs and
Yeah.
hamburgers,
Exactly,
and it's one of your
Yeah.
highest.
yeah. And we
So
do a
that's
lot
tough
of,
one.
yeah, it is, and we do a lot of recognition of our employees in social media. We
You
let-
do.
we
I'm
let-
surprised, because you do. I see
And that's why I was a little bit surprised as well. We do our employee of the month engagement. We try to think of those little things, but the cool thing about Gallup is, like, for instance, recognition being the lowest mark within that individual piece. They give you opportunities to see what plans you could do to improve that, improvement plans, which gives you several opportunities and different ideas to be able to change that perspective, which we're currently working on that right now with our field operations chief, Ricardo Char, has now developed a means and a platform to try to recognize our employees much more frequently, to not only at the executive level, but at the first line supervisor level too, because that's who's engaging with our people every day. So seeing that weekly recognition piece, we need to make sure we get that information down to our first line supervisors that see our people daily on a constant basis, so we can try to get that number up a lot higher. And having that guidance of how to do it and how to make it better, sure, it's a very valuable piece of this project to where we don't typically get that. You're kind of left guessing of how to improve things. Gallup is great when it produces an idea of what you actually can do as a plan to implement that, to make sure those numbers increase over time, which has been great. So,
Just got one other question.
Yeah.
You said one of your low points, it was a high point, but it was a low point in your materials and equipment.
mhm.
That kind of surprises me, because I don't know that we
Now, when
really
I-
spare any expense when it comes to materials and equipment.
Now,
right?
keep in mind, when I say low, it was still 3.9. So it's, as far as the grand scheme of things, of those 2 questions about the materials and equipment of what do I get?
Yeah.
That was the lowest of the 2.
Gotcha.
It's really still not low.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I call it low because it shows
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but it's really not low. But compared to the 4.3, that's in the same category. It just happens to be a little bit lower, but out of the 5, it's still pretty darn good. So, as far as the teamwork piece is, do I belong here? Employees need to feel like they belong and are a good fit with their team. They need to know they are part of something bigger than themselves. As a manager, encourage opportunities for teamwork and a sense of belonging. So getting back to that teamwork piece, the overall mean was a 3.5, which is a very good ranking. Our highest on that was the mission and purpose. The mission or purpose of my agency makes me feel my job is important. That was not the highest one, I'm sorry. Committed to quality. My coworkers are committed to doing quality work, was 3.9, which is actually very good. The lowest one at that was, do I have a best friend at work? And that was 3.1.
Sometimes that's not a bad thing.
And I honestly, I kind of looked at it the same way, honestly. Like, for instance, for me, I keep a friendship group that's outside of law enforcement, quite frankly, because when I'm off, sometimes I want to decompress a little bit and not talk about being a cop all day long. So I do have a lot of value with that. But also on the flip side is some of the closest people in my life are the people I work with every day. So
Just trading shares, like I had a broken chair.
a broken chair. The last piece of that is the growth piece, is how can I grow? Employees need to be challenged to learn something new and find better ways to do their jobs. They need to feel a sense of movement and progress as they may mature in their roles. So scrolling down to the growth piece, actually both scored fairly well. Our mean was 3.83, which I think is very good. The highest marking of the two, there are two questions that categorize within that growth piece. The first one was learning to grow or learn to grow. This last year, I've had opportunities at work to learn and grow. That was a 3.9, nearly a 4, which is very well. Progress in the last 6 months, someone at work has talked to me about my progress, which is 3.7, which is depending on when the survey comes out. We do a 6-month, I'll call it a 6-month check-in for evaluations. So not only do we do our annual evaluations, but we'll also do a 6-month a check-in to see where you are in the year as it's going. I was a little surprised that was a little low because we do that 6-month check-in every year, and that just happened in June. And we did the survey in October. So I don't know if that maybe slipped people's mind. They kind of forgot about that. I don't know. But we'll see how it is on the next survey, see where these numbers kind of stack up. So these give us a good foundational piece of where we are as an organization. And not only where we are as an organization, but Gallup is also, like I said, gives you an opportunity of different ways to learn and to improve those categories. So of the categories that came back and the survey that came back, we were very, very pleased of the results that we had. Very promising, gives us a good idea of where we need to go as an organization as far as putting our resources in to make the Grant County Sheriff's Office not only a better place to work, but provide the best service we can to the community. So, you know, as everybody knows, when you have employees that are happy to be at work, you end up getting a better product. So very valuable information for us. So I just want to express to the board the gratitude I have for allowing us to move forward with Gallup and gathering this great information. And we're currently working on already a plan to make things better and to improve moving forward. So this is a fantastic piece for not only the Sheriff's Office, but quite frankly, the community that we serve. So thank you to the board for allowing us to move forward with that. So any questions on the Gallup thing that hopefully I can't answer? And if I can't, I probably will tomorrow. But as far as that's, like I said, that's kind of just a snapshot. There's a lot more in-depth statistical information, but this is the report that I kind of printed to give a kind of just a surface view of it.
So what's your process going forward for any areas that you want to improve on and checking to make sure that whatever
we're doing is working?
Yeah.
Yeah, so in each category that you bring up with Gallup, they have different tabs at the bottom to get a more in-depth snapshot of those statistical information. But it also says plans to improve. There's a tab for plans to improve. Like they have set plans that you can do for instance, recognition, that recognition piece, which was our lowest. So right now they have a already pre-drafted employee recognition piece that can be sent out to your peers. You can recognize employee A for whatever, best performance on a day of the week, whatever it may be. But it's a full page. It's, I would say probably 15 items, if not. There's a bunch of different pieces that you can actually recognize your employees with so they feel that recognition piece. So being able to implement those plans, of course, the more you do that, if you stay with the plan as designed, you'll find out what your impact was at the next survey. So it does allow for a time for growth of that plan instead of going survey. It allows some time for that change to be implemented, to be able to go to the next one. So
Can I jump in there real quick?
yeah, please.
Not only do they do the action plan that really reinforces reinforcing everything, they've already, they are wanting us to include 3 additional questions in our next survey. And it's one, have you seen an increase in the deficiencies? Has your team leader met with you to talk about this and put together an action plan and shared it with you? And have you seen any improvement on there? So it's reinforcing it. It's also starting to measure last year's on how we engaged and did we do anything with it at all? So that'll be built into next year's survey.
So are you doing those surveys yearly or quarterly?
They're yearly. I think there is an option for every 6 months as well, but we're going to do yearly. And if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chuck, he was more in depth with Gallup than I was. They recommend that you do annually for about a 3 to 5 year period. before you have to break it down into finer, more closely tied surveys. So they like to have that foundation of statistical value before they move forward into different avenues of surveys.
They want to make sure that the staff is bought into the process. And, you know, even with us, we're learning this process as we go. So they're not going to see immediate impact 3 weeks after they take the survey. You know, it's a process. So that way it gives us all a year to kind of get some wind underneath our wings and kind of work through the process. And hopefully next year, whenever we give it out to everybody in October, they'll have more buy-in on it instead of trying to do it every 6
And
months.
it's even more than that, if you do it over a number of years. The second year, the third year, you start to get even more data than you could in the second year, because in the third year, you can start to break out anomalies that, you know, okay, like the 7 days question.
Mhm.
The second year you do this, you do it for barbecue, you get this really high score, and you don't know if it was because of that or because of whatever process you put in place. But that third year, you start to break out some of those anomalies, you know, so that it's important to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I guess long and short of it is, I really feel like we're on the right track with the agency. And having this as a starting foundation for us, it really gives us a platform to start to see where we can actually take this into the future. So it's actually really exciting for our agency, and I'm really happy we're able to do this and move forward with it. It's fantastic. It really is. Very, very good information to have. So that's kind of the update on Gallup. I'm going to let Phil go. He's got some information, kind of some follow-up questions that Rob, you had during budget time, which some numbers we talked about with our 24/7 medical care, kind of looking at some offsetting things. Phil was actually able to get some numbers for you, and I think it's a pretty valuable piece to go through and discuss if you would. So.
But before I start on the numbers, I just want to kind of get you up to speed on an incident that actually happened Sunday in the jail. It was a kind of a targeted check. They end up finding that an individual's door was not secure by how the screen is red or green, shows whether it's open or closed. Well, it was indicating that it was open. Staff end up responding. They found him hanging. He was actively hanging, but they caught it in time where they cut him down and zero injury. I mean, timing was amazing. Staff was amazing. And that quick reaction on something as simple as looking at the computer screen to see if the indicator shows open or closed, we saved a life. So that was huge. Man, I tell you what, when I got that phone call.
Closed part mean?
So whenever the door is secure, it'll show a green light, but if it's open, it'll
On the
show
control
a
screen that
red.
controls the lock.
Well, that's why I guess I'm confused. If
Was that
the
in
door
his-
was open,
Mhm.
Correct.
So when the door is open, it shows a red light
On their computer screen.
on the
But is
computer
this for
screen.
like to go into their like bedroom area?
Yeah.
or-
Yeah, to their
Yeah.
cells.
Okay.
Housing cell, yeah.
And this fellow, this particular inmate had come out to use the phone. When he couldn't get a hold of his mom, went back into his cell. It appeared that as if he closed the door, but he didn't.
Which the door should have been secured, and that's why
Yeah.
the staff found it. He wasn't securing the door when it should have been. It was a time of, it needed to be secured.
It was just kind of a freak thing that they looked at to save a
Correct.
life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct, yeah.
If he would have
A
shut his
tender
door,
mercy.
it's,
yeah, you would have.
Oh, yeah.
May have been a
We
different outcome
We
possibly.
even have a different conversation this morning.
Was he younger, older?
Younger.
Younger, I think, yeah.
So I just want to kind of throw that out there. The staff did an amazing job. I mean, they saved a life yesterday. And when I got that phone call at first, man, my gut sank. But it ended up being a good thing. But
So is he getting
Get some help.
services or?
so the mental health came and saw him that evening. Mental health came and saw him that morning. He was PR'd by the judge yesterday from his misdemeanor warrant, which for incarceration, we had no legal authority to hold him in jail anymore. Lanny, our DCR, wanted to do the detainment on him, the ITA. So he met the criteria. We ended up transporting him up to CBH, where about 20 minutes after he's at CBH, he took off running. They put out an attempt to locate on him last night, and I have no idea if they found him again. I don't know.
Yeah, non-holding misdemeanor that he was gonna hang himself for.
So they let him go out to use the phone to call his mom that he couldn't get a hold of his mom. And so circumstances around that, I don't
Okay.
know, but, that's why, I don't want to get on my spiel.
Yeah.
Number wise, during the budget meeting, we were proposing a 24/7 medical. You know what the number was? And some of the monies that we currently spend will be able to roll into that contract. So a couple different areas that I pulled our financial data from. And of course, this is only up from January 1 into September because Tyler just doesn't have the numbers in it yet. So from January 1 into September for medications and medications only for the jail, we have spent $33,000, which that would completely roll into what they have proposed for their budget. I was looking at their budget this morning and they have it budgeted for $250,000. So whenever we have an increase in services, we're also going to have an increase in medications and everything else. So they're going to try to compensate for that. That's why you see such a larger number in the medications. Professional services, that's our line item that we pay for our contract employees, our Dr. Five, our providers, our ambulance runs, our hospital visits. There are times where an individual comes in after a motor vehicle accident, say if he's in on a vehicular homicide and he has a broken femur, needs surgery, we ultimately pay for that surgery. So that comes out of professional services. Over the last couple of years, we've continued to add in over $100,000, $150,000 in the professional services just because that thing keeps on going up and up and up. So from January 1 into September, and I went in and separated all of the medical services outside of everything else as far as pre-employment background, psychological exams, and everything else that comes out of professional services. But from January 1 to September, we have spent $350,000 and $350 and $638.25. Dr. Fife's medical insurance this year, I believe, it's off the top of my head, we spent $72,000 for it. That's going to anticipate to maybe even double next year just because we live in a wonderful state of Washington. But those are some of the numbers that will eventually get rolled into what correctional healthcare partners would be absorbing.
Are you available Friday morning for a phone call?
What time are we meeting Friday morning?
It's 11. If I remember right.
Let me look. I'm
Would
pretty
you
sure it's
keep
11.
the same nursing staff that's at the jail, or would they?
So they will, so a couple different things. Not that we're going to do this, but sometimes these medical companies will come in just to clean house. That is not our intention whatsoever. That is not our intention. So they will offer them a job.
Okay.
Pay comparison. Everybody's worried about pay. I just spoke to the sheriff from Lewis County, which they just transitioned into Correctional Healthcare Partners. They went away from NAFCare, which was kind of the Pacific Northwest leading medical firm through all correctional facilities. They took over for NAFCare. They're paying more than what NAFCare was.
They're paying their employees.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I guess, and maybe if I can correct something that I misspoke last time, their staffing analysis indicated that we needed 9 full-time employees for 180 population. It was actually 10. So I was actually undercutting it. So I misspoke. It's actually 10 employees.
Friday, I have a kickoff call with Merchant McIntyre. They're the federal lobbyist group. I'd love for you to be a part of that phone call. They'll talk to you about the operations and what you're doing and what you get funded, if there's federal grants out there that are available, they'll hunt them down for you. And there might be some opportunity for you to get some direct dollars from the federal government.
Okay.
How
What
many
does
full-time
Lewis County
employees?
pay?
So this was probably, the numbers I got for them was probably 2-3 years ago, and they were right a little over $3 million. Their population at that time, I think they're around 200.
Yeah, 225,
Yeah.
I think.
And that was NAFCare numbers. I don't know what because they just contracted with CHP. So I could reach out to their commanders and give you some numbers.
How do
that
they
they're
fund
paying.
that?
Same way we
Yeah,
will.
I believe it's through the BOCC in their budget, I believe. I haven't heard of a different way they're funding it.
I know I had the opportunity to do some leadership training down in Texas last year where we had to bring in our budgets because we talked about the oversight of budgets. And I happened to be sitting with an individual that was a captain out of King County. Their behavioral health budget, just their behavioral health, was $10 million. I was like, whoo, man. That's my entire budget.
I'm sending the invite to both of you.
Okay.
It's a kickoff call, so probably what they'll end up doing is you'll learn a little bit about them, but they'll try and set up a separate meeting with you. Any grants that you do, I'm not a pass-through, and the whole point of this is that the state's not a pass-through, it's direct. So they'll start working with you directly, and if they find something, it's between you guys. You do what you need to do, and if they can find you hundreds of thousands of dollars, they will.
So is this gonna be, because I was in kind of a kickoff meeting with them a couple months ago. Is this gonna be kind of similar to what that one
It's the
was?
same thing, except they're gonna be setting up the meetings and actually, because we've gone ahead and trained them.
Okay, good,
So
okay.
now it's if they can find you the money, they're gonna go get you the money, and they'll,
Okay.
yeah, so. I'll start exploring it. So that includes any federal grants for any kind of law enforcement. So any way they can help.
Awesome.
I love money.
Well, especially if we can get it from somebody
We need a
else.
little
Yeah,
bit right
especially if
now.
it's not ours, we're getting it, yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions about the numbers, cost, so forth, so forth?
Rob, I'll see what I can find out about the funding source as far as,
I'm looking, it looks like their current expense is like 3 times ours, even though our population is bigger.
Mhm. That's probably,
So-
I'm guessing it probably comes out of there. But I asked the sheriff to see what he said. I emailed him this now, so see what he says.
I just thought it was interesting that they would be able to fund that, being a small county.
Mhm.
Moving into the new jail. So interesting question today as we started talking. First of all, we did select Contract Design Associates for FF&E.
Oh, okay.
So that's who's gonna be doing that.
I think Will said he was gonna be getting with us, moving that stuff forward.
Yeah, so we have somebody that we're familiar with.
Oh, perfect.
If we've been focusing on moving into the jail, but we've got this higher administrative office to move into. If the commissioning is done, and that building is ready for you guys to move in like April or May, have you thought about that?
Yeah, we've been talking about that, kind of what stage that we're going to do that, because this is just me thinking, and I don't know if I think my staff thinks kind of the same way. What I don't want to do is have everybody the same day packing boxes and going. That's gonna be just a mess. It really is. So I'd like to see us probably go in stages. At what stage that looks like, I'm not sure yet. But
We'll start working.
I think that's definitely an option, I guess what it comes down
Start
to.
working
Yeah.
on it with Light Day, so we can start thinking about that.
Sure.
Because you don't have, because you guys, that'll be ready before you guys are probably ready to occupy it.
And I would sure think so. That's why we were kind of thinking about administratively getting things moved in before the
The,
actual inmates and stuff.
Moving our evidence system is going to be a huge lift.
Yeah.
Based on how things are gonna go, we're gonna have to do a audit before we move, and then another audit after we get up there to ensure that everything is
Yeah,
neat and
exactly.
tidy.
Secured in
It's
place.
not gonna be easy, it's not gonna be cheap, it's just gonna be a lot of work, but once we get there, we'll have everything in one place as opposed to
Where we are now.
the different places that they're at, right now, so.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
A lot of work.
Your budget is $6 billion more than theirs between jail and sheriff.
Overall. I would imagine that probably staffing, wages and benefits is probably higher, I'm gonna guess. 'Cause they don't have as
Our
many-
budget is only like 50,000 more than theirs
Is that,
for us.
gotcha.
I'm just gonna look at it.
Yeah.
We might meet with them there
Yeah.
tomorrow or
Okay.
tonight or something too.
Lewis County Commissioner.
Yeah, because I mean, we would fund that with no question, but I don't know if we can.
Sure, sure.
So that's why I'm like, how do they have a smaller
Well,
budget
And we
funding?
might be able to get that funded federal,
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's-
Did I say 3 million? I mean,
I need to ask that question.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
See ya.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Morning, happy Thanksgiving if we don't see you.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, it's awesome. Yeah, it's.
Oh, wait, we'll see you tonight.
Oh, yes, 6 o'clock tonight. Yeah. Our town hall.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was gonna bring that up too. Okay.
You're leaving too?
Oh, is that what you're?
Tonight?
You live 2 miles away.
I know, we have to go watch that. Yeah,
Hit him up.
no, I'm gonna ask him.
You can tell him thanks.
Enjoy your trip.
Good job.
Yeah, well,
I will be
you
there.
get good
I will-
information.
I was trying to run it, yeah,
I'm
unless there's any reasons, but I'm like-
You're not going to,
You won't be there?
I was gonna call you this morning and then I just got pulled sideways. So.
I actually left my cell phone at home.
Did ya?
As soon as I got in, I was like, ah, crap.
I wanna get together with you and.
Thank you guys very much.
Go over budget stuff or whatever you need.
I hope Ed's doing.
Hey, how we doing?
It's not really there's only mandates.
Sure.
What did you say tonight? What did you say?
An inmate declared.
You can, Brandon, you can sit up.
Force is likely if you're meeting an individual.
Judge, I mean,
Assistance.
Congratulations.
We gotta get you sworn in. Where? Let's go.
I'm sure you don't want to be a judge. Are you going to the town hall tonight?
I have a hockey meeting, but I'll see if
A
my wife
hiking
can go.
meeting?
My kids are playing hockey.
Oh, hockey. I thought you said hiking. I'm
Have
like,
Carly come. Go. See Carly.
I didn't know if you even knew about it.
In Moses Lake? Where at? Your house? Oh.
Yeah, my house.
I don't know.
Thanks for meeting.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll try.
That's better than sitting in the peanut gallery.
Good morning, it's 10:03 a.m. and we will roll into our human resources update. Dan, what are you doing?
He's plugging in. Plugging in. It's been an interesting one.
What, did we do our public comment?
Oh, do we have any public comment in relation to human resources agenda today? I see no members in
We have 8 callers.
the audience, but we have 4 members online. We have Dell Anderson, iPhone, Jim. Would you like to see if anyone has public comment?
Yes. Dell, iPhone guest, Jim Anderson Cook. I've given you the ability to unmute if you have any human resources related public comment today. Carrie has said that she has none.
No, I'm just here for position management. Thank you.
All right, hearing none, I would say there is no public comment and we can continue on with the agenda.
Okay, because we have 2 people here who are wanting to know about positions, I'm going to skip forward to that one, item number 5. That way they can get on with their day, and then we'll go back to item number 2. So Development Services yesterday brought forward in PMR their position request for the file clerk from part-time to full-time. Is the board prepared to make a decision, or do you have any further questions?
I'm good with that one because they are going to basically, rescind their request for 26, turn the half to a full-time.
Want a motion, a formal motion? Or, I mean,
We don't
yes.
normally.
We don't normally do formal.
Okay,
I'm good with it.
3 yeses.
3 yeses. Thank you.
I will say, jumping down to the prosecutor's office, when we were kind of doing the restructure or rehashing, there was a comment that more legal assistance needed to be added. So I will throw that in from, you were there, Gina, from the team over there.
When you had the meeting with them. That's what you're
I don't know
talking
what
about.
you call it,
Okay, so that brings us to the second position, prosecutor's office, legal assistant, 1 FTE requested. For the legal assistant, is the board prepared to make a decision?
and it sounded like still, you don't have a full staff of employees over there, so
We don't. No, we're drowning.
this is not gonna be an addition to current expenses within the budget, basically.
You got
So,
a space in there.
I'm a yes.
I'm in agreement.
Good with it. Thank you.
Yeses. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Brandon, get it done.
And thank you for joining us.
item number 2, I have a ULP settlement that I need a signature from the chair of the board. I just need the one signature today. This is a ULP Public Works. It's a the ULP was based on claims of retaliation by the previous administration at Public Works. It was settled with an agreement that current administration won't do the same behaviors. And that is to retaliate against union members.
And there's no catch, no cost, no keeping a bad employee, no.
No, sir.
Just trying a
It's
new
the
line
same.
of tolerance.
Same thing. Yep, one copy. We keep one copy.
Correct.
Goes-
Kind of eliminating
goes
the,
to the union.
I didn't hear what you said.
oh, I said drawing a new line for tolerance, that we're not gonna tolerate certain activities.
Thank you. And Dell is online. If you will promote him, I would appreciate it. And since he is online, so we can,
Do we need to go into executive session?
we are going to go into an
Okay.
executive session, yes. It's my next request to do so. And since he's online, we'll chat with him
How long would
first.
you like?
My guess is it's going to be, let's start with 15 minutes, please.
Evaluation.
Yes.
We'll be going into executive session from 10:18 until 10:23. Oh, 10:08 till 10:23 for evaluation, RCW 42.30.1101G. We're going to extend executive session until 10:40 a.m. We're going to extend executive session 10 additional minutes, returning at 10:50. We're going to extend executive session until 11 a.m. It is 11 a.m. We're out of executive session. No decisions are made.
I will bring back the rest of my stuff next week.
Sorry, Decorah.
Thank you.
Nope, that's
Deborah.
okay. That's okay. Thank you.
Were there any big holdups that are going to impact
Nope.
anyone?
It was,
We will
they were all
have-
just FYIs.
We do have a roundtable portion in this meeting, so.
Number 6, you'll appreciate that one. We were just gonna take a deep
Oh,
breath.
appreciate that.
Just some yoga.
Just take a deep breath.
Did I have everything Friday?
Usually if my hands go over my head, it's a bad sign. All right, it is 11:01 a.m. and we will begin our weekly commissioners meeting. I will now call the meeting to order and begin with an open forum for public input, 3 minutes per person, 15-minute time
Thank you, Decorah.
limit.
Thank you, Gina.
We have one member in the audience. Do you have any public comment person? No, she does not. We have 2 people online. Caitlin, we have Carrie, who I assume has no comment, and then guest.
Yes. Guest, I have given you the ability to unmute if you have any public comment.
Take that as a no comment. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Are we holding number 10?
No, it's just the agenda as presented for the meeting.
Gotcha. I'll second that.
There's been a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to approve the agenda as presented. Do we have any correspondence, emails, letters of support that need our response?
I'm just pointing out, I did receive a letter Saturday and again yesterday concerning Quincy and Mattawa over, it was from Pat Boss. I think you guys were CC'd, Caitlin. I want to say did forward it to you. About George and the air quality in overburdened communities. And they highlighted Mattawa and Quincy in this.
That was from Pat Boss.
Yeah. I think, hey, to Caitlin. Caitlin sent it to you Monday at 8:07 a.m. I just want to make sure. I don't really know what to do on that. You not for it?
I went to send it to Kevin and Rob, and I sent it to you and Rob. I just sent it to you, Kevin,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I guess.
I just thought I was losing my mind. That's okay.
You are. You didn't see it? Sorry. And Tom was CC'd on that, Barb. Okay, just more of an FYI. We'll follow up with Pat Boss on that. What we need to do, if I need to do anything.
Anything else, Caitlin or Barb? All right. Do we have any items for roundtable discussion?
I believe we have one walk-on, and that would be the application, the liquor cannabis application that we approved last week.
Just, making modification to the approval. Approve the person, not the location, is based on what we'll do. Well, probably, I guess, the motion.
I'm withdrawing item 10 because there was placed there on error, and I'll be bringing it back for next week.
Any other roundtable items?
Comment about budget?
Yeah.
So I'm sure everybody saw the email that I sent this morning, the exchange between Mandy and myself. I just wanted to reiterate that she is working to get all of the expense and revenue reports done and published in GP and on the internet. But in doing so, she doesn't have anybody that's going to help her with budget. So she's pausing on the Tyler part of the budget and everything else in order to get this stuff done so it can be updated for our Friday meeting, whenever that is supposed to be. At what time, we were supposed to, when we had the meeting, the capital meeting, we talked about canceling the afternoon and reconvening on Friday. And I know that still has to be scheduled, so.
I believe we canceled the Friday meeting and we're gonna do Monday and
Decided
Tuesday the
that this
following
morning.
week.
Oh, what was that? Sorry. I
Oh,
missed
that's
that.
okay.
Yeah. So what's
Barbara.
You guys decided to not have the meeting on Friday.
okay, so it's gonna be on Monday. Okay,
Sorry.
okay, no, that's good. I'll make sure Mandy knows that, so that's all I have.
Okay, any questions on the consent agenda? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the consent agenda 1 through 9 and holding number 10 until next week.
If we could withdraw number 10.
Withdrawing number 10.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I'll second that.
It's been a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passes to approve agenda items 1 through 9, withdrawing number 10. We have a walk-on item.
Mr. Chair, I move that we do a walk-on item for a liquor applicant that I'm looking for last week's that was on the budget. On our consent agenda last week, or it was action item number 5 for Moses Lake Distillery LLC located at 1096 Road, L.4 Southeast, Unit B9 in Moses Lake, Washington. I move that we approve the applicant on that, but deny the location.
So you're rescinding the entire decision and doing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Rescinding.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to rescind the original approval and make the amendment to approve the applicant and deny the location as stated by Commissioner Carter.
Do we, oh, we, okay, we said aye.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna send this to Tom. Okay, Mandy, I just sent an email to CC Tom, Mandy, and Caitlin about budget meetings next week.
Today is 11:18. If you want, you can pass it that way,
Whatever you say, Barbara.
because Kevin and Cindy will be down shortly. If you want to just turn and paste on the sheet.
They're slacking.
They're busy. Can you hold this?
I'm a horrible thrower, as you can see. Since we didn't have the little bit.
Right, you gotta bounce right there.
Oh, see, then I go the,
That's
see, I can't even get it in
This is your government at work.
the ping pong.
I don't bring anything. I need a ping pong. I told Vern this would make a great ping pong table, so there, okay. I do not see the humor in it.
It smells like fire smoke.
It does smell.
But not in the hallway. Did you smell it in the hallway?
No, I didn't.
That's when I walked in this morning.
It's just going back to me.
Just face, yeah, face down.
Oh.
You can be the final
That's all
keeper
right,
and then
that's-
slide it on over. Thank you, sir.
Whoever was here this morning, they were smoking hot. That's what we can smell. This will be number one, so it needs to slide under the Mary. It's like sitting in a different pew in church. It just is different sitting on this side. And somebody takes our bench. It's like,
Thought it'd be good to mix it up.
Upstairs. Yeah. If the three of you could sign public works payroll. Rob's box right now.
And then Kevin's gonna. Rob, you're going to spoken tonight too today.
Yep,
Kevin, you're all packed and ready to go.
definitely not packed.
Sure hope so.
Jeez, that'd be an answer, huh? I'm definitely not packed.
Are you going to the sheriff's thing tonight?
No.
Okay. that's-
Because it was on the calendar. I was very
Yeah,
surprised
I
when I
was,
saw that.
I was going until I found out it's,
Yeah, so was I, so.
totally found out it clashes with our other.
The office. Hopefully Rob Kaufman will make it. He has a back injury.
Oh, he does.
So I told him to go to the relaxation station in South Center. I haven't done anything.
I'll see if there's, they're in the app. I think I have dropped like fifth
He's
place
supposed to be
now,
there.
but I have not
He's just
done
hoping
it.
he can walk.
I'm not even
So-
paying any
Don't
attention.
sign?
No, because that's the one that was not correct on the website, so we're gonna just, yeah, don't do anything with that one. We're holding it. or denying
Because it was
it.
withdrawn.
Withdrawn, yeah, withdrawn over here. Sorry, 11. It's a withdraw.
Got you, Herb.
You can pass that one on to approve the withdrawal, or no, it's just,
Did you see my estimate on that app?
Yes. We need a sponsor.
Hmm?
We need a sponsor.
Yeah.
There's just one place, I think it's like Bench something Farms. They would be a good sponsor.
Are you going right now? Leaving right after this?
Not right.
Okay, is there anything else?
no, sir.
All right, it is 11:12 a.m. and we will close our weekly commission meeting. We have a 11:30 WCRG meeting with Shane Heston.
You do?
Good morning, it's 11:30 a.m. and we are here for a WCRG update with Shane Heston and Risk Coordinator Manager Claire Koch.
Well, good morning. We're here to give an update. Before we go to the review of the claims run, I just wanted to share that Blair and I spent a sensible amount of time on the renewal. We've got the renewal and it's now been delivered. And we're, huge schedule of stuff going through and finding duplicates, finding things that maybe weren't added and stuff. So it's just a big process, and Blair's put together a nice worksheet to kind of double check things. And then of course we've got a kind of a triple check system too. But just want to make sure everything you have is insured and things you don't have is not insured. So that's kind of the key here. We're expecting to get an estimate of what the new jail is going to cost to add. We expect to have that sometime in December, so we can report that back probably next month. But we've asked for that data and, getting maximum credit on the building design and the fire protection and the steel doors. And, basically a concrete structure made with steel and covered in sprinklers, it's,
Not gonna get any safer.
yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Drop the fire on it's not going to happen. So we'll get that to you next month. I just want to report that to you. And we are doing some stuff to, try to get them to, give us a rate. The rate was more than what we expected. I think you are aware of that.
Yeah, it was the same here.
The notice letter, I think, is going to send a pretty strong message. And in fact, we've already got a response back. Barbara booked a meeting for January 6th. Wes Crago is going to be in attendance here. He's going to share with you some ideas he has too. But aside of that, Blair and I are discussing some risk strategies to maybe take on more of not a deductible, but more of a self-insured retention. But there's a lot of factors in that, so we're still kind of contemplating on different things. No decisions, of course, to be made without the group consent, but just some ideas to share on that. So the thing about deductibles is once you take a higher deductible, there's no going back. And so that's the thing. You're kind of burning that one-time deal, and then next year when it goes up, then you're stuck, and all of a sudden your claims trend goes in the higher. Now you're self-insuring that higher layer, and so it creates, I think, something we have to really contemplate carefully.
Well, I hope when they do come in here January 6th, they don't come in here and say, and be flippant and say your fix is higher deductibles, because that would be upsetting. We've already done that once. So.
We have increased that. Now I know one of the things too is I've been contacted by Cowlitz County, Grace Harbor County, and then San Juan County. They're in the other counties program. That other counties program took a substantial rate increase this year. For the past 3 years, they're up 126%. Not to give you too much information, but if we were to add, let's say, Cowlitz County and Grace Harbor County, that's just going to make this pool bigger. Just like how taxes work, the higher assessment, everybody's, tax rate goes down. I think the same concept could apply here, but, that's kind of a long-term play. It takes a while to get a member on board.
Is there any way we can reinforce that of county leaders this week when I'm meeting with all the county administrators from those counties?
Just say, hey, give this county program a look. It's obviously, it's pretty affordable. And
I know this topic's going to come up. So.
I mean, if you say their rate was under 10%, I mean, we took a higher rate because of employees, but we took the county, WCRG took a 3.8% increase.
3.8, yeah, it was a raw rate increase. If no exposure change, you'd only seen a 3.5% rate increase. So yeah, I would say, get a hold of WRCG and, if they need someone to represent them,
I mean, because if we can get a larger county in, it's going to help Grant County, because Shane and I were talking about this today, is Grant County's double to 6 times bigger than the smaller pool, this smaller.
Wouldn't it be beneficial for us to join a pool with someone that's 6 times larger than us?
No, because their losses are a lot bigger. And so then we take on their losses though too. So we have to be responsible. So right now we're the big fish in the sea. And so when it's the losses, it's our losses. So
then what's to stop a smaller county from looking at ours and saying, well, Grant County's the big fish in the sea and we don't want to take on their losses?
Yeah. And that's kind of.
Well, it's based on market availability, Tom. There's only 2 markets for the counties that are outside of the private sector, the commercial insurance. So
What other counties are in WCRG with us?
Grant, Lincoln,
Stevens,
Ferry,
Wahkiakum,
Garfield, Columbia, Whitman,
Soton,
and Minnesota. Was that 10? It's Skamania.
yes, Commedia.
There's a lot of smalls.
There's a lot of smalls, so. And that's the thing is, when we meet with them, we gotta say, when you guys are comparing us, you gotta remember, we're double the size. So you gotta give us some grace.
Richland and Kittitas and Yakima and
So-
Benton and Franklin.
So they're in that other counties program.
And some of them are self-insured, some of them are self-insured though too. I think Yakima's self-insured.
Yakima is definitely more self-insured. Like, I think they're carrying 250 deductible or SNR on their stuff.
That'd be interesting just to talk to them to see what their insurance.
And the nice thing is with us putting WCRG on notice as of the first, it lets us go talk to the other pool, other people and see what their limits are and, you know, see what's the best for us.
Well, we can run them anyway.
Yeah, we can, but you know, but talking to the counties, yes, but not other insurance companies like private markets and stuff. We can do that this year.
I can't do that anytime I want.
Well,
You could, you just wouldn't be able to leave without notice.
Yeah, no, I get that,
Yeah.
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 That's really.
It just gives us more flexibility. So if we get a smoking deal, we could actually go.
Yeah, and I'm skeptical of those smoking deals, because I've
Yeah.
seen those smoking deals be here today and then double
year,
next year, and
yeah.
then we've lost our market.
Yeah,
So I'm very careful on that, in that regard, because I've seen insurance companies buy business and then,
the next year we're stuck for 3 years because sometimes we're stuck and that's what they do. It's like you sign, but we're there for 3 years and we can't leave.
I didn't realize Yakima was self-insured. It would be nice to see.
it's a little high, they have they're not, they do buy excess, but it's
Yeah.
more of a
Well,
catastrophic.
You know, and I think insurance companies, like any business, they aren't in business to give us a good deal. They're in business
No.
to make money. right?
Yep.
So they got a profit motive.
Yep.
But right now, they're capping the county's growth. They're saying, we're gonna make it so expensive with these rate increases that you know, we're basing it on the number of employees you have, so stop hiring employees.
Yeah, and it also too, I think, Tom, your point the other day was, it's a systemic solution is to get some legislative relief and joint and several, and then the tort reform, which we've talked about many, many times
Yeah.
in this room, but.
So,
So if Yakima County, say for instance, if they left where they're at and came to us, can they change their deductibles?
Sure, they could, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you could.
So that could be a benefit for them.
You could.
Yeah.
Certainly, yeah.
There's one thing to say, we have a hiring freeze and wage freezes because of.
Because of insurance increases.
Yeah, that's not cool. So
Yeah.
that's, you know, that's gonna play into where we're at.
yeah.
It does play into it. It's probably a direct relation of how much we have to pay for
Yep.
reserve.
Yeah.
Right.
So we're looking into everything. We're trying to figure out everything. So
It was nice to see that the rates did level off. I mean, if you look back 3 years ago, where we're at today, I mean, we're not seeing those kind of rate increases, but still, if you look what we've came through, it's quite a bit more than it was just 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's 3 times.
Okay, should we go to the loss runs? The first one I have is actually the current policy year, so it would say Grant County loss run 25-25 as of 11/10. This is our current year claims. We've got 29 claims. There's really no change from last month on this one. Though this month we have filed a couple of claims that aren't reflective on here. That'll be on next month's report. There was a couple of claims. We had this auto liability here on the first page, second from the bottom, or first section, second from the bottom of that. There's that one claim there filed on 10/3 of insured vehicle rear-ended somebody's provision plumbing out there on Wheeler Road. We talked about that
we did.
last month, but
Yep.
it just wasn't on the claims report. That was the one involved in the road construction. Yeah, I don't see any other claims on there. No, that was really it. But you can see for the year, they've paid $101,000, and we've got it reserved at $381. So let's say if we were self-insured at a higher deductible, we took the $400,000 deductible savings, right now, we've only spent 25% of that. But on the flip side of that, if everything does mature out and goes to this limit, we're only at, $19,000 savings on that. And remember, claims can be filed oftentimes 3 years after, the policy year's closed. And so things do develop, but I don't see any litigated claim. Well, there are a couple litigated claims on here, but we don't know where those are gonna go. Those are the civil rights claims. And there's, as we pointed out earlier today, when Blair and I are meeting, we are getting some recovery too. You know, the snowplow went up on Sagebrush Flats. We're getting a subrogation on a property claim where somebody hit the fairgrounds fence, which is always an ongoing thing. We should put a little pool together to see when that's gonna happen again.
I made it a lot more stout.
Okay.
So it's gonna cost more next time they hit it, so.
Work with me.
So there's our current year claims run. The next one is all open claims for all policy years. And Blair has spent a lot of time going through and cleaning this up. So if you look at what it was just 3 months ago, it's half of that now. So right now, open and reserves about 4.8 million and 32 claims. And almost all these are in the litigated phase. The ones that could develop are, of course, you know, the drowning out there at the gorge. And of course, you know, anything involving, you know, a serious injury or death. That's always something to kind of be very mindful of. You know, just seeing where that Ross claim could go, you know, the adjusters expressed the concern that if they do get the venue moved over to King County, we could be in a pretty bad situation there. So we're not sure where that's going to go, and that thing could develop. But that could easily go 7 figures if it does get into a different venue.
So how do we stop that? I mean, how do we change that?
It's based out of precedent case law. You know, they can, you know, for whatever reason, petition the courts and get the venue moved. You know,
No, I mean, just even though we have absolutely nothing to do with that incident, just because it's in our location.
Well, we openly denied it originally, just based on our, you know, on lack of liability. But they're trying to use that joint and several clause. You know, that 1%, it opens up your policy limits. That's where they're going with it, and it's still kind of maintaining some life based on that. And if it continues that and it gets a venue change, it could develop into a pretty serious claim for the county. And that's, you know, the county, that's the year that we're worried about, because, you know, we only got $5 million left worth of insurance for that policy year. So we need to keep a close eye on that. And this is the policy year that we're concerned with, and we're keeping a close watch on. Right now, we're just at 10 million on that, and there's 36 claims there.
I have a question on the insured golf cart.
Yes, fairgrounds.
What?
So that was we had at the fairgrounds during the fair, someone backed in and hit a rental car during fair week, right before fair started.
It was a kid.
Yeah, it was a kid.
And what about our golf carts?
Yep. However, nothing's been turned in yet. There's been nothing. So in a couple months, we will close it. So
Oh, was the kid authorized to drive it, or was
they
it?
weren't supposed to be driving it. It was supposed to be an adult. We took care of it for next year. There's no kids driving it. But yeah.
Was it somebody? I mean,
Trash crew.
It was a trash crew.
Oh, okay.
It was trash crew.
Okay.
So it was a minor damage to the car. They may not turn it in. We may close it and have it be absolutely nothing. However, we still got to wait.
Usually budget, you get to pay for the downtime. It's just a pretty extensive.
Yeah,
could be.
it's loss of rents and diminished values. It's always that
Yeah,
extra.
I can't see them just rolling over and not getting any.
I know, but we haven't heard anything since fair. So we're going to wait a little bit longer. And if we don't hear anything, we're going to close it.
I'm dealing with the rental car loss out of Tennessee with one of my customers, and they just got the bill. You know, here's the repair bill, and here's, you know, get it all fixed. And then later they get, you know, well, here's the loss of rents for the 48 days it took to fix a fender. You know, because they're not on a timeline like we are to get our own car fixed. It's just here it is. And then they put an administrative fee on top of it. So, I mean, next thing you know, it's almost cost to repair the car all over again, just based on that.
Yeah. So yeah, WCRGs were working on it. They're handling it.
Okay.
It's kind of like the trash truck with waste management at the dump when that happened with their vehicle. So that one actually got closed because waste management hasn't responded. So they ended up closing that one.
Yeah, we don't beg for claims, but, you know, we're going to be liable. We're going to, you know, own it. If they don't respond, then that's on them.
Yeah, we got a couple demands. They responded and they never proved anything. And so we closed it. So do another demand, they'll respond for us.
So any questions? Okay, about what I have. So next month I'll bring you another report. We'll give you an update on any changes that we found on the schedules. And then hopefully by then we'll have an estimate what it costs to add the new correctional facility.
And we have a budget meeting tomorrow, I think at 9.
Okay. You know, this ballparking at Cindy and commissioners.
No, I was just thinking for a WCR, I have to make sure because.
We do.
Oh, the WRCG, yeah, but
Yeah.
there's
Which I
a,
have to verify because I think everybody else should be up at WASAC.
yeah, I think so. I think it's just an executive group,
Yeah,
right? to-
it's just our budget.
Approve the
Yeah.
vouchers and stuff, yeah.
Scott.
So, anything I can do for you? Questions?
Can write some legislation.
I would love that, but you know, as you know, it's, I mean, Danny Stone started that years ago, and I know it's Scott and everybody's been pushing on it. It needs to continue, and I think this other program taking the rate increases is gonna get their attention. I mean, you would think 30-some counties all talking to your legislators, you're gonna have some sort of like, you know,
I don't know if anybody's talking to them,
well, that's the thing that we don't
Well, I
know.
think they are.
I am.
I just think that,
But, you know, talking as, hey, 38 counties, we're fed up, you know, or let's do something about it.
I know when I talk to legislators, they tell me nobody else is talking about it.
Put some torque caps in there, put some immunities on there, put some, you know, here's how this is going to work. You know, we're gonna bankrupt the state through, you know, claims.
Yeah.
You find a big group, it's called the plaintiffs' attorneys,
We don't want to give that up.
and they don't give it up. It's a cottage industry. Why do you think so many lawyers are coming to Washington State out of California? All right. Well, thanks, everybody.
well, thank you.
All right, it's 11:47 and we will recess for today. We will be in Spokane for Wasac. And are we back Friday?
You have a 10 o'clock place at IA and Kevin has the tour.
Yeah, those are just personal, well, individual. All right.
Well, sounds riveting.